But we begin with Chanley Painter breaking details on the suspect found overnight. Chanley.
Hey, good morning, Todd. So investigators believe the suspect behind Saturday's deadly attack at Brown University is also responsible for killing an MIT professor days later. Police on Thursday said the alleged gunman died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound at a storage facility in Salem, New Hampshire. The suspect, a 48-year-old Portuguese national, briefly studied at Brown University more than 20 years ago as a graduate student. He did so on an F1 visa and was eventually able to obtain legal permanent resident status. Prior to that, the alleged gunman attended the same academic program as the MIT professor back in Portugal between 1995 and 2000. Officials highlighting how they were able to connect him to the murder.
So investigators identified the vehicle that he had rented in Boston and then drove to Rhode Island. There was the security footage that captured him within a half mile of the professor's residence in Brookline. And there is a video footage of him entering an apartment building in the location of the professor's apartment. And then later that evening, he is seen about an hour later entering the storage unit.
Now, how police were able to ID the suspect vehicle is all due to a homeless man referred to John in the affidavit. Police are crediting John for, quote, cracking the case wide open. John told police he had encountered the suspect in the building before the shooting and followed him out. Police confirmed John is that anonymous second person police were looking to speak to because he was seen in surveillance video and then video encountering the suspect. So John is also the same person who posted the tip on Reddit describing the gunman's suspicious vehicle in great detail. This man's information and tip led authorities to locate the car and then the suspect's identity, even though the suspect used multiple license plates trying to evade authorities. Well, meanwhile, in the wake of the shootings, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem has now paused that visa program in which the individual was able to enter the United States. Todd, back to you.
Chanley Painter, thank you. With that, let us bring in former Chief of Police at Southern Connecticut State University, Joe Dooley. He's on my right, and former Rhode Island Advisory Commission member for Emergency Management, Jeff Kelly, on the left. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. And what I think is so valuable about your insight this morning, we have had a number of security law enforcement experts on the program on the channel over the course of the last 24 hours and all week long, in fact. But your focus is on hardening institutions, be it schools, hospitals, whatever, to make sure that if something like this is about to happen, that it doesn't, or if it does, we find the suspect immediately. And Joe, I'm going to start with you. What stands out to me, the fact that the thing that blew this case wide open was a random homeless guy who provided the necessary connections and information to tie all this together speaks volumes to me about the lack of proper cameras, security, you name it, on the campus of Brown. Joe.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. It was an incredible job that they did in finally bringing this to a conclusion. But information at the beginning of this incident, as it's unfolding, is absolutely critical. Having the information to the, hundreds of law enforcement were there Saturday night in Providence. And it can be very chaotic without information. Having the information at hand, the videos, the radio communications, and interoperability is so critical.
Jeff, the president of Brown University, Christina Paxson, shockingly said during a press conference yesterday, when all this started going down, quote, "I don't think a lack of cameras in that building had anything to do with what happened." To me, that statement is completely incongruous. So to you, I ask, what do all schools, whether you're a kindergarten, a preschool, or a college and university, need to do to make sure they harden their targets starting yesterday?
Well, I mean, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and the timeliness of it is critical. By being able to share immediate video out to agency or agencies, multiple agencies, within 5 to 10 seconds, which is what MutualLink provides, that gives them a live picture of what transpired.
And to be clear, you work for a company named MutualLink who provides these very services. I want to be completely clear about that. Let's go back to the the Attorney General for Massachusetts.
So he was using an application on his phone, and there have been a couple of things. The Google phone doesn't allow officers to ping the direct location and get real-time location information about the phone. There was also beliefs that he was using SIM cards that were possibly European SIM cards that are carried through a provider in the United States, but does not provide real-time information about tower connections.
To be clear, she's not the Attorney General. She's the attorney for the District of Massachusetts. But regardless, what stood out to me is that, Joe, as somebody who has run a campus police system, why do you think they were so quick to come out and say, nope, nothing to see here?
These incidents unfold quickly. I can't speak to it. I wasn't involved in that, but I will say that the information can be very disconnected and not fluid. In that particular case, it's really unclear. They may not have believed that they were connected at that time, but clearly once the evidence came to them and the reports came to them, they were able to make that happen.
It seems odd that they would even come out and say something as definitive. Just say, we don't know. Like, we're working that, we're trying to figure it out. Quickly, Jeff, before we let you go, as parents prepare to send their kids back January 5th or whatever, going into the new year, will this attack change the expectation of security on campus throughout the country, do you think?
Well, at a minimum, it has to change the culture. The culture starts at the top. The president at this University of Brown is going to have to make a statement before the college kids come back from winter break that this is what we're doing moving forward, because the status quo, as we've learned from some parents, at $92,000 a student to attend Brown, they're not going to send their student to a university that they don't feel safe in.
It's such a great point. And I remember when I was in school, I went to one of these bucolic Ivy League schools where you could walk in any building anytime you wanted. There was no security. That was 25 years ago. That was a much different world. Things need to change now.
They do.
Joe and Jeff, thank you so much for your insight. Very much appreciated.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.